Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Name the dog Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in paints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, is my prequely friend Frank. How are you today, my friend?
Misa doing real good. No, can't.
Oh,
I can't.
no.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Nope. Couldn't do it.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Hi.
Anyway, hi. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm real good.
You real good?
I'm real good
Good.
because I'm drinking a delicious beer, as I imagine that you are also doing the same. Because
Was I supposed to get a beer?
You were, Frank. We get beer all the time, and by all the time, I mean at least once a week. And shoot, I know that you have one at least more than that one time because your Instagram story is hilarious. Lit? It is lit, yes, because we're super cool people. I'm drinking a Harpoon Leviathan IPA. It is good. It is classic. It is adventure in brewing. It's so good.
Is their line or yours?
It is their line.
Oh.
It is. It is on the back. You're like, wow, that's amazing. You should.
That's some good marketing right there, man. You should
write that down.
write that down and put it on a label.
Yep, I did, but it's already on their label.
Can you tell this is not our first beer of the night, guys?
I mean, and by not my first, this is literally my first beer of the night.
All right. Well, I'm on my second.
No, this is my first.
Okay.
I'm just having a good time with you, my friend.
Oh, you're just high on life, is what you are.
I am. But Frank, there is a menace brewing. One would say a Phantom Menace. I can't even get it out. There's no good transition to this.
Nope.
Like, there's no good transition into the prequels.
Well, technically, there shouldn't be a transition because it's kind of where the story begins.
It's fine. It's everything. It's fine. I actually like the prequel, so whatever. So,
I don't
Frank,
mind the prequels,
a few episodes ago, I asked you to recast or cast for the first time, depending how you look at it, Star Wars: A New Hope, as if it had never been made before. And you weren't casting to type or part, you were just making a new movie. And we did Star Wars: A New Hope. And so we are back to do Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. Back to do the prequel. We decided not to move forward with doing Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi because there are very few new characters that crop up in those films, and some of those characters even crop up in The Phantom Menace or in one of the prequels. And so we are just doing The Phantom Menace because the only other new person is Donald Glover. And by that I mean Lando Calrissian, really. And we all know it would be Donald Glover. So we can just move on. Yep. We haven't even seen Solo yet.
Nope.
It's just we just know that's working. I would love it when we come back and do an episode on that. We're like, wow, he was the worst part of that movie.
I know.
Yeah, I know. His smile was great and nothing else. We know that's not going to be true because he's a great actor. So,
he's fantastic. He's the best.
He is. We are back to do Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. It's gonna be fun. these are the characters we are covering today: Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, Senator Palpatine, Padme Amidala, Shmi Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, the child, Mace Windu, Jar Jar Binks, and Darth Maul. So we are not rewriting the Phantom Menace. We are keeping it as is, and this is just the movie that we're watching.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Now, I kicked us off last time. Would you like to kick us off this time?
Sure.
Cool.
Sure.
So, would you be so kind as to start with Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yes. So, for old Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope in Star Wars, I had cast, you might remember, Morgan Freeman.
I did.
Because I thought that he had that gravitas and that older energy of a mentor and all that.
Wizard.
Yes, exactly. For young Obi-Wan, there needs to be a consistency there, right? You need to see the roots of that character. There needs to be a feeling of continuity, and
I know what you're saying.
I see how we got from there to there, right?
They need to look alike. I know what
they
you
need to
mean.
look alike, but they need to act alike too. There needs to be like,
that's true.
That's what I mean. So that is why I chose for young Obi-Wan, I chose a motion capture de-aged Morgan Freeman.
That's bogus. Bogus.
Hey, if they did it to Michael Douglas and Ant-Man and it looked flawless.
They did it for less than 5 minutes. You're talking a whole movie of Morgan Freeman running around as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Are you kidding me? We had
battling Darth Maul. He's 80 years old.
So what?
Bogus.
All right, call it bogus. You don't have to like my choices.
That being said, I'd be totally there.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch it. I'd be so curious. I'd be
right?
so curious.
If they did Peter Cushing in Rogue One and he wasn't even alive, I think they could de-age. I think they could. I sincerely, this is not a joke pick. I do think they could de-age Morgan Freeman to be a young. What we know what he looked like when he was young, right? Like we have the reference material. And they could do either mocap or off of him or off another actor if they wanted like somebody who's younger and moves like a young man. But I think they could. I think I'd do that, and I think that would be because he's so big. It would be not the only choice, but it'd be like a very viable choice. So that's my pick.
No, it's a good pick. Good pick. I agree that there also needs to be continuity between people, and I'm actually gonna talk about that when it comes to another character because Obi-Wan was the character that I had a really hard time with because I had to pick the wizened Obi-Wan and then the Padawan Obi-Wan, and so I had a hard time thinking about who I could be. So I moved pieces around the chessboard a lot, but I'm satisfied. Padawan, Phantom Menace, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Nicholas Hoult.
Ooh, okay. So that's your Obi-Pada-Wan.
Obi-Pada-Wan. Mm-hmm. How's no one made that joke yet? Obi-Wan Padawan.
Obi-Padawan.
So, I think he would be really good. He's got a young, fresh face to him, and he's a tremendously good actor, and I think he could really grow into the mentor Obi-Wan as the course of the prequel films kind of flesh themselves out. He's really good. So that's my Nicholas Hoult is my pick. People who don't know him, Nicholas Hoult, people think things that he would know him by. He was Beast in X-Men First Class and Apocalypse and Days of Future Past.
Yes.
If that helps people.
I think for this audience that probably helps.
Yeah. Obi-Wan, yeah, right. So that's Nicholas Hoult.
Cool.
Next on the list, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon has a paternal energy to him, right? Like a dad. and taking Anakin under his wing, but still being rebellious in his own way, and still being.
I see where you're going with this.
Do you?
I got it. Allow. Keep going, but allow me to guess yours. I think I know where you're going.
I'll be very shocked if you guess it, but okay. So, so I went with somebody who I think has that paternal energy, who I've been admiring recently. Who do you think that I picked?
All right. Well, when you said like paternal energy, but my first joke thought was John Goodman, which I know is not right.
John Goodman.
No. But allow me to answer your question. I believe it is Jeff Bridges.
That is so wrong.
Damn. But he would be good, right?
I don't know if I'd pick him for Qui-Gon. Maybe. If it was a little more... Okay. How about this? Maybe if it wasn't... If his rebelliousness was less of Liam Neeson's brand of being like, oh, I'm an independent thinker, and I'm like a little more spiritual in my own way, and more of like the dude, and being more like, hey man, like the midichlorians just want us all to get along, like just that would be the Jeff Bridges.
You're not recasting Liam Neeson. You're just making Qui-Gon. So that could be a very interesting take on Qui-Gon.
Well, what I went with was, like I said, a paternal energy that I've been admiring is that of Sterling K. Brown.
Sterling K. Brown
from This Is Us, from The People vs. O.J. Simpson, from Black Panther. He was T'Chaka's brother.
Oh, sure, okay,
right.
Yep.
Who killed that?
I've only seen him in Black Panther.
Oh, Tim, he is such a phenomenal actor, phenomenal, and he plays like the person you want to be your dad on television, like so much in This Is Us, like so much. Fantastic character, and that paternal energy, that warm and loving, but still firm, and then seeing him as a villain in Black Panther, a well-intentioned villain, somebody who has pure motivations but kind of goes the wrong way. Mm-hmm. Shows me that sort of not by no means is Qui-Gon a villain, but he has a rebellious streak to him, and it shows me that he has that in him. So that's my pick. A little, definitely not what you'd expect for Qui-Gon, but I think that again, if it were today, if we were making episode 1 today, could fit the bill in terms of what that casting sheet might look like.
Interesting. All right, my pick, Qui-Gon Jinn. I thought about in some ways the paternal nature, but I also think back to people asking Liam Neeson in interviews why he chose to be in Star Wars, and then why he chose to return to Star Wars as the voice of Qui-Gon on the Clone Wars and things like that. And he always said, well, the Star Wars Jedi are the cowboys of the youth today. They are like the John Waynes of like how, like with what I grew up with, and I wanted to be a part of that for, my kids and all that kind of thing. And so I was thinking that like grizzled Western, like that kind of, he like does his own thing, but he's part of the group, but he goes his own way, like you said, but still has some kind of power and authority to him. So I landed on Idris Elba. Beautiful pick. Oh, amazing. He'd be a great Qui-Gon. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, this is what I wanted to talk about. So I had originally had Idris Elba as old Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ooh, that's good. He's a little too young for old Obi-Wan, but that's still good. Yeah, but I still he's also it. Like, I actually don't know Idris Elba age. I'm going to look it up right now. He's around 50. 40s? Late 40s. He's 45. 45. He's 45. Okay, so he's a little younger than I. Around the same age. Yeah, he would have been the same age as my Darth Vader. He would have been the same age as Richard Armitage. Right. Right. So I'm glad that worked out, but I couldn't. There was nobody that I really liked to play the younger Obi-Wan Kenobi. I just couldn't. Like there were some really talented actors that I was like, you'd be like fine, but I couldn't think of anybody to like fit the bill that who I wanted to play Obi-Wan. So I had Viggo as Qui-Gon, and I had Idris. So I swapped them out to then put Nicholas Hoult in. A couple episodes back, you had Viggo as your
as your Obi-Wan.
I had Vigo as my Obi-Wan, my elderly Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he was originally my Qui-Gon.
Interesting.
Right? I know. It's great. But I'm really Idris Elba would be an incredible Qui-Gon Jinn.
Amazing.
He would be so interesting and layered, and you would really feel like Liam Neeson's death. I think you would really feel his passing. Like you spent less than 2 hours with this character, and you were already like, no, And I think you would get that with Qui-Gon Jinn. With Idris Elba.
Yes. That is the best casting of any of your picks thus far from either movie. That is the best.
Idris?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. That's the better of. That's the best casting.
You think that's better than? Go ahead.
That's the best casting of. I mean, it's better than anything I picked, and it's better than anything you picked out of these 2 episodes so far.
Wow. Well, I guess there's some more coming. Buckle up. I know I gave you a particular list, but I kind of want to go a little out of order here. Did you have a pick for young Anakin Skywalker?
I do.
Oh, good. Let's hear it.
I'm glad that I get to go first because I was afraid you might steal this one from me. Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things.
Oh, Finn Wolfhard plays Mike. He would be good.
Mm-hmm. I think he
would
really
be
has
good.
that. He really has that energy. He's a couple years older than Jake Lloyd was, but yeah,
that's okay.
I think so. I'll admit I had to look up his name because I couldn't remember. I get those kids' names confused a little bit from Stranger Things. So I Googled him, and while I was Googling him, I saw that the first movie he ever saw was Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and that made me feel so old. Because he was probably 2 when that movie came out, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm garbage. I am old garbage.
Finn Wolfhard. I think he would be good.
Yeah.
He's a really talented kid.
Really, really good actor, that kid. Yeah. Yeah. I think if being a child star doesn't mess him up, he's got great things ahead of him.
Yep. I agree. I also have a child. I also have a child actor pick. I had originally thought, just cast an unknown. I don't know. But right now there's this influx of really talented child actors, between Stranger Things and the movie that I'm about to say. So my pick is Jack Dylan Grazer, who played Eddie in the film It.
Oh.
And he was also the young Alex from Me, Myself, and I before it was canceled.
Got it.
He is really good, really talented, but he's got this kind of stare, this deadpan, so if you go to his IMDb page, his main photo is kind of just it's him without being a smiley, and you can kind of see this if you're projecting Anakin onto him, you can kind of see this pain and loss and I'm dead behind the eyes kind of look to him, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Something's not quite
there.
Right. I'm not saying that kid is like that. I'm just projecting onto him.
I understand. Yeah.
For the purposes of this.
Sure.
But I think he'd be a good Anakin Skywalker. And then he looks a tiny bit like my pick for Luke Skywalker, that being Tom Holland. So
nice. Yeah.
I feel like you can see that thread just a little bit there.
That's awesome. And wasn't Finn Wolfhard also in It? Weren't they both in It?
Yes, he was.
So
he was also really good.
Yeah. That's
Finn Wolfhard. What a name that is.
I know, really. It's such a Hollywood it's such it's unique, but it's not out there, it's I don't know. It's a good name. Solid actor name. I always want to call him Flynn Wolfhard. I don't know why. I always just do.
Oh, in Flint, that's my favorite movie, baby.
All right, where are we going next?
We are going to let's do Padme. Padme Amidala. Queen Amidala.
This one I hedged on a bunch, but you'll remember that so my Anakin pick was Finn Wolfhard. You'll remember that my picks for Luke and Leia were Sebastian Stan and Jessica Chastain. So I didn't go too far down this road, but I was sort of well, what two people would make Sebastian Stan and Jessica Chastain. So Sebastian Stan with Finn Wolfhard.
It's a good question to ask.
Sebastian Stan and Finn Wolfhard, I could kind of see it like, yeah, I could see how you have, they look enough alike. For Padme, I'm going with Emma Stone.
Whoa.
Her and Jessica Chastain, I mean, aside from like the red hair, they don't really have that much in common. Let's be perfectly honest.
Nope.
Really, the hair color is where it ends. So like I said, I didn't go too far down that road, but it was a consideration. Let's put it that way. I think that Emma Stone has, again, I'm thinking of this like if this were being done today, it would be a little less subdued, I want to say, than it was in 1999, and it would be a little shinier and a little more glamorous, I guess is what I'm getting at. And she is like the it girl and has been for several years, right? With La La Land, right? She was chosen for that role for a reason, right? She's in many ways sort of America's sweetheart. Not America's only sweetheart, but one of America's sweethearts.
I understand what you mean.
So I think she's a solid pick for that because it would be in a way, not so much in episode 1, but as you went on, she would have to stretch a little bit because she's a tragic figure ultimately. And that's not something she's really had an opportunity to do too much of. So I'd like to see her do that.
That's cool. That's good for you. That's an interesting pick. Not what I would have gone, but interesting.
Yeah, no,
I like it.
She's
and she's talented, really talented. My pick is Lily James.
Nice.
Lily. I was trying to think of somebody who was young to kind of do that, like believe that she's a young queen kind of deal.
Yeah.
And a bit of that, but I was thinking about what Leia says about her mother from Return of the Jedi. This, like she was kind, but sad, and I think that Lily James has a
good pull.
I was thinking about Lily James as Cinderella, who is like the epitome, but kind but sad. She has that quality to her. And then when Padme has to be super cool and shoot a blaster and stuff, I thought about Lily James in Pride and Prejudice with zombies. So she can do the hardcore action stuff, and she can also be this kind but sad, weight of responsibility kind of person. And that fun-loving kind of like, oh, we're having a blast in this field with space cows and stuff, like from
right.
Attack of the Clones.
Fun. That's really good. That's really solid.
I think I missed my calling as a casting director sometimes because I enjoy doing this so much, and so who knows? Who bloody knows? Okay, do you want to do the controversial character? Jar Jar Binks, you want to do it? Too bad we're not ending on Jar Jar Binks, so let's do it now.
Right, we're not.
Let's get it bloody out of the way.
I really, really struggled with Jar Jar, man. I really did. I don't. So here's the thing. Jar Jar doesn't bother me like he bothers many people. He's whatever. He's an annoying character, but lots of movies have annoying characters. Whatever.
That's true.
I was 10 when Phantom Menace came out, so I certainly wasn't sitting there thinking of this movie in anything you would resembling a critical sense. I was just like, cool, a new Star Wars movie. Oh, explosions. Oh, whatever. That pod racing scene was kind of too long anyway. Why does Jar Jar look skinny? I was, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant to say. The second gear is really
Jar Jar look. What is Jar? Well, it's late at night. Let's not forget.
It's also that, yeah. It's actually mainly that. But no, I was like, why does Jabba look so skinny? I don't understand. But anyway, I have decided, even as I'm saying it now, I'm like deciding within two people I had. I'm going with Jim Carrey
I almost went with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I'm like, who's a clown in Hollywood? Like who is a clown, goofy goofball? I thought about Eddie Murphy, but I because he also does the sort of clowning sidekick characters.
Yeah, the donkey style.
Yeah, exactly. Mushu,
Mushu.
Yeah, but I'm going with Jim Carrey because I think that
he could turn it into something maybe, or people would be less critical because it's Jim Carrey.
Maybe, yeah. It's more of I think it. Yeah, I don't know. Also, it's sort of like he deserves it. No one's gonna hate Jim Carrey as like poor Ahmed Best got such a bad rap, but no one's gonna hate Jim Carrey as much as they've hated. So I don't know. It's just sort of like it's a bad character. It's if I were writing the movie, the character probably wouldn't exist. But seeing as we have to cast the characters as they are, I'm going with Jim Carrey.
Okay, very cool. I also had a hard time with this. I thought about Andy Serkis, who
for motion capture.
Who can right, because it's motion capture, and he could probably turn him into something that's not a joke in a lot of ways. Like he'd maybe have enough foresight to understand, like, no, this is something I can do something with this that's not weird. But I ultimately decided that was too easy to kind of go in that direction. So I thought, let's make this interesting and see what happens when you make Jar Jar a girl. And so my choice is Tara Strong.
What a great pick. Oh my God, I never would have gone there. That's an amazing choice. Do you want to tell people who Tara Strong is? Because they know who she is. They just don't realize they know her.
Tara Strong is a voice actress, a very prolific voice actress, one that I think people will recognize from years past. So I'll actually go to her IMDb page and give a rundown of some of her biggest things. So she plays. She was the second voice of Barbara Gordon in Batman the Animated Series once it moved from Fox to Kids WB. She is the voice of Bubbles on the Powerpuff Girls. She is the voice of Timmy Turner in The Fairly Odd Parents. She is the voice of Harley Quinn.
I was going to say, don't bury the lead.
I wasn't after Arlene Sorkin retired from playing the character. Tara Strong took over. She is the voice of Raven on Teen Titans Go and the original Teen Titans cartoon. She is the voice of Twilight Sparkle and Princess Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony, and it just goes on and on. And
she has over 500 credits on IMDb as a voice actress.
Mm-hmm. She is so very talented. Yes. She played Ashy on Samurai Jack. She is an incredibly talented lady, and I think that she could probably turn. It would be an interesting performance, and I would be, because I think you don't have to do a mocap Jar Jar. You could do a CG Jar Jar or a stand-in, and so, or she could be on set if she wanted to. But I think the voice playing, I think the voice would need to come out. So yeah, Tara Strong is my choice.
Great pick. Love that. I really love, not as much as Idris Elba, but I still absolutely love that. Great choice.
I know I'm doing fairly
You're doing
well
really
here.
well, especially in this round. You're doing so well with the episode 1 picks.
Okay, so let's go the opposite, and let's do a character that doesn't talk a lot, but has a presence. Let's do Darth Maul.
Right. I for this one I actually went with someone who's been in Star Wars before.
Did you go with, I think I know who you're doing. I know who you're doing. Are you doing Sam Witwer?
No, but that's good too. Sam Witwer.
Okay.
He's been in Clone Wars, and he was
Sam
Witwer
is the second voice of Darth Maul on
Clone Wars.
So,
and he was also in Force Unleashed.
Yes, he is the mocap and performance of Starkiller
and of the Emperor.
And of the
Yeah.
Emperor. Mhm,
Yep.
that's right.
But no, that would be a pretty good pick. But for Darth Maul, I'm going with Donnie Yen. Because of his martial arts abilities.
Oh, that's genius! Ow, I didn't think of Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen.
Oh,
because
shoot. I feel
really
like
Darth Maul. I mean, I think of the physicality of Ray Park. Right. That's what I was thinking of. It.
That's
Who
right.
else has that? And what would be the modern, updated version of that? Would be a more Asian influenced martial artist. Donnie Yen.
Ooh, good. Now, would you have Donnie Yen voice the part too, or would you just
possibly?
Peter Serafinowicz did the voice in the Phantom Menace, whereas Ray Park played him.
Right. For this I was thinking more about the physicality of it. So the voice, I don't care, honestly. You could keep Donnie Yen's voice, and he could, I think probably make it a little more menacing than the tenor of his natural speaking voice. But you could also voice him over with someone else, and it would work. Really, what I care about the most is his fighting ability. The thing that I think about the most is, yes, the voice, but as you noted, he doesn't talk that much. So it's really more about his ability to fight, the double-bladed lightsaber, that blew all of our minds in that trailer in 1999. It's more about the fight, I think, for him. Whereas Darth Vader, for me, was more about the voice.
That's cool. Now, before I move on to my choice, Peter Serafinowicz, for people who don't know, if they're like, okay, who's that? Why did he voice Darth Maul? One, Ray Park has a really high, reedy voice, and that's why. Peter Serafinowicz is the Tick on the Amazon Prime show, The Tick. He was also the Nova Corps member from
That's what I
Guardians
was
of the Galaxy.
gonna say,
That's like, what a bunch of a-holes. Yeah, so if that guy is also
He's
Darth
like
Maul,
Glenn
just putting
Close's
that out there.
right-hand man.
No, that's John C.
You're
Riley.
right. You're right.
Yes,
yeah.
He's John C. Riley's
I forgot about
right-hand man.
Right. I forgot about John C. Riley. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so yes,
Right.
his right man. Yeah.
Okay, so my Darth Maul has also been in Star Wars, but secretly. And I thought about the physicality like Ray Park, but I wanted an actor. I didn't want a voice dub over.
Sure.
And I was like, who has a presence without saying anything? Who can do it without really saying anything, but who also has the physicality and is an actor? So my choice for Darth Maul is Daniel Craig.
I was like thinking of all those clues you were just giving and like trying to piece it together and try to guess, but
He's a stormtrooper in Force Awakens. He was in Star Wars.
And he had a speaking part. It's his voice.
And I'll drop my weapon. Yep.
Oh wow. Okay.
Daniel Craig. Yep. Think about Bond and just the sheer force and power. Think about Casino Royale Bond.
Sure.
And just like plowing through walls in the bathroom. It would be a totally different kind of Darth Maul. It wouldn't be like fluid flip Ray Park Darth Maul. It would be like, I'm coming at you and I'm not stopping Darth Maul. And I think that would be scary in its own way. Like almost relentless. Because Darth Maul is a lot of hit, flip, backward. Like he doesn't attack them the same way. He kind of, and I think that a sheer force, almost like Darth Vader in Rogue One, he just keeps moving.
Right.
He doesn't stop, and that is horrifying in a lot of ways. And I think that would be a really interesting. That would be an interesting Darth Maul. So
good stuff.
So yeah, Daniel Craig. Now we have 3 characters left: Senator Palpatine, Shmi Skywalker, and Mace Windu. Who would you like to do?
Let's do them in that order. Let's do Palpatine.
Okay, Senator Palpatine, go
Malcolm
for it.
McDowell.
Oh, he would be so good,
right?
Oh, his voice alone.
Now, I know that, he's kind of in the same vein as Ian McDiarmid because it's like old British guy. But he's so good, who cares? So good.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm.
I'm maybe most proud of that pick.
I love that. Oh,
although I am pretty proud of Donald Sutherland too, so I don't know. But I go with Malcolm. Hey, brother.
Hey, brother. Yeah, well, yeah. Hey, he was the bad guy in a Star Trek film,
That's
so
right.
he was in bad guy in Star Trek
That's right.
Generations,
That's
so
right.
he'd
So
be
why not?
Star Trek and
Yeah.
Star Wars. That's cool. Okay, my pick. I had a hard time in some ways with this one, but I think I'm satisfied. Senator Palpatine shall be played by Gary Oldman.
Nice. I thought about him actually, because I was, on kind of the Churchill, same.
Churchill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same vein.
Yep.
Nice.
Same vein. I almost put a Chiwetel Ejiofor.
He's
instead.
so good. Oh my God, he'd be so good.
I know, and the only reason I really didn't put him is because I was like, well, he's Mordo, and that's kind of like I've seen him be that kind of like, and I'm evil now, and whatever else. But I think Gary Oldman could convincingly. I think Ejiofor could do it too, but I think Gary Oldman would. I think Gary Oldman would take it the step and do a voice. He'd do a character as Darth Sidious, where I don't know if Chiwetel Ejiofor would do that. I think he'd play it straighter on both sides, and it'd be say more obvious. Where I think Gary Oldman is like a transformative actor. He'd become, and I think he'd play it as two different people. So it would be almost Ian McDermott style. So it's a little less obvious to the audience. Children. It's a little less obvious to children.
Yeah.
And by children, I mean Frank when he was that age. What? I remember was it you that said by the time you got to Revenge of the Sith and it was revealed that Palpatine was the same person, you were like, what?
No. I knew. I didn't know.
You knew from Phantom Menace.
The first time I saw Phantom Menace, no, I didn't know, but I was 10. And I don't even know if I'd seen Return of the Jedi by that point. My viewing was way wonky.
Mine was
so
well.
I guess I had maybe seen it, but I don't think I knew it. But by episode 2, I for sure knew.
Okay. That's different. Okay, never mind. All right, so that is Senator Palpatine. Let's do Shmi Skywalker.
So I'm going with Marissa Tomei on this one.
I love Marissa Tomei. She's so
good.
So good.
And I thought that Shmi's a small part, realistically, in the grand scheme of things. But I thought, I guess honestly, it's a similar to like her Aunt May in Spider-Man: Homecoming, and that she's like a single mom, sort of, filling a similar kind of hole, similar void. So I guess that's what reminded me of her. But really, I thought that Shmi should be a little bit of stunt casting and a little bit of like Winona Ryder was in Star Trek for Amanda Grayson.
For Zachary Quinto.
I thought that it should be something sort of like that. So that's how I settled on Marissa Tomei.
I really like that choice. I also agree that it should be a bit of stunt casting. I think using an unknown, like maybe it doesn't hold the same weight, because you're not, it's like, okay, it's his mom, but if you also have a relationship with that actress, then you might feel her separation from Anakin a little bit more, and then her eventual death in Attack of the Clones you might feel more. So I agree with that, and my choice is Laura Linney.
I love Laura Linney so much. I love her so much. Oh, that's such a good pick.
What did she
She'd
be
amazing
great
at it.
Like, can you just like Laura Linney talking to Idris Elba and being like, there was no father, like that? The weight of that scene would be so good. It would be so good. I know. All right.
Beautiful.
Now we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do
Watto.
Mace Windu, which is our last one. Watto. Dustin Hoffman. Done.
Little floating Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, man. So I'm sticking with that. That was my I'm telling you, I missed my calling.
Kitster,
so,
Justin Bieber.
Kister, Justin Bieber. One of the other kids from It or Stranger Things.
Right.
There, finished it, done. Before we get to Mace Windu, do you have somebody that you would want to play Attack of the Clones, Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker.
Attack of the Clones?
Yeah, Attack. I'm Anakin Skywalker. Sorry.
Oh, like the Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, because think about brew it in your brain.
Okay, yeah,
as we're doing Mace. Yeah, see what comes to your brain. Because I figure if we're not coming back to
Who's
these
the kid
other
from
ones, he's really
Kingsman?
the only. Oh, Taron Egerton. Wow. Yeah, that's him. I
Yeah,
swear.
you're right. That's my first.
Wow, he would be good. What a good choice. He would be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board for that. That's a great idea. Mine is Sebastian Stan. I'm not using him for Luke. It's not using him for Luke. Yeah.
That's good. That's good too.
He is. I think like the Winter Soldier part of him, like he's troubled and dark in this. I think he'd be a really good Anakin.
I see it.
Cool. Okay. Well, that was easy. All right. So last one, Mace Windu. What's your pick?
My pick here is Denzel Washington.
That's what I picked too.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I can't think of a better way to end this show. That's amazing.
Of course we picked the same person. Of course we picked the same person.
What were your reasons?
Yes. I honestly didn't think of Phantom Menace. I thought of Revenge of the Sith, which is kind of cheating.
I did the same
although you did
thing.
a lot of one, the fight.
Yeah.
But 2, Denzel Washington battling Gary Oldman. I'm just saying, how cool would that be?
I like it. Yeah.
How cool would that be? But I just thought, okay, who can say take a seat?
Oh,
young
sure.
Skywalker?
Sure.
And I just kind of ran down this list of actors that I thought would do it, and the dead eye stare that Denzel has when he you know what I mean? That like I'm telling you, sit down. I actually almost in some ways thought of Fences. Have you seen Fences? Great film. He has that kind of like I'm dangerous. Don't you tell me that and he would be great, and kind of like. Idris Elba kind of has that like power that exudes that power of Viggo Mortensen. They're all in that same age group where they just exude force without trying, and he would be so
For
good.
me, it was the thought of Denzel saying, "You're under arrest, my lord." Like that line, him saying that, like chewing that line up, chewing up that fight scene between him and Palpatine, just going at it, and the thought of Malcolm McDowell and Denzel Washington facing off.
That's also
right? Like so. That's for me is what did it. This is the epitome of beer with geeks right now because we have beer and we are geeking out. Like this is like the kids that picked on me in high school would listen to this and then just fuel for the fire. Like holy, yeah.
I know.
Yeah. We are living up to our show title right now.
I know.
So Denzel.
That's good. Denzel.
I love
He'd be great. He'd be great. Mm-hmm. Man, Frank, this was a great exercise.
So much fun.
I loved doing these 2 episodes. You know what the hard part is though? It's so hard. Star Wars is so important to both of us. I think we'd have such a hard time doing this for other franchises. Yeah. Like to say like, okay, let's do Indiana Jones. You'd be like, well, the only other it's Marion and Indy, and like after a while you're like, well, they Sala, I guess. And,
there's few
the characters are not as.
There's few other franchises that I feel that I know the characters so well that I could get into them and recast them like we did here. There's not many.
Can I put one out to you?
Oh, okay.
Can I think the next time we do this, we have to do Jurassic Park.
Ooh, okay. That one might be tough for me, but I can man up and rise to the challenge.
Yeah. Frank, did we just create a new segment?
We did. I think we have a new series going on here. Cool.
Yes. All right. Okay. Well, I'll leave it there. So you can find us on the internet at beerwiththegeeks.com and Twitter and Gmail and Facebook. You can also rate and review us on iTunes and all other places that podcasts can be found, such as but not limited to Overcast and Satchel and Google Play. You can head over to patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio to support the show and all other Thought Bubble Audio shows. You can check Frank out at Starkville's House of L Krypton, and you can also find us both together at Supergirl TV Talk, and you can find me at Academy Rewind and Tolkien TV Talk, and you can check out neither of us at Hate Watch with us.
That's right. Kirsty and Kelsey do an amazing show, though.
Indeed, and we have a few more shows coming down the pipeline. We say that a lot, but it takes a long time for shows to kind of get moving and grooving.
It's truth, though. We do actually have real shows coming. As if 6 shows is not enough for you, we have more.
We have more on this network. If you like us, then we have many more wonderful, wonderful content on the way. So that's it from the both of us. So until next time, cheers.